All right, back at it. There's just a pile of birds out there not doing anything, and I wasn't really able to fish today, but from the looks of it, there was acres of bunker and not a lot of fish caught. But we're still like maybe west or northwest wind, so I'm going to start off and throw this hydro minnow 170. See how we make out. It's incoming tide. I think it's about halfway, and I'll probably work my way south from here. Man, I'll tell you, I've said it a couple times, this Century rod, this is a Century Stealth 10 foot, maybe 10 and a half. I think it's a 10 foot. It takes these SPs, which I think, or this is a hydro minnow, I think it's 1 3/4 ounce, the 170s are. What a rocket. Once you get around those 3 ounce, 3.5 ounce, probably not my favorite rod for that. You know, that's a pretty heavy plug. I like the GSB for that, but man, for these lighter 1 to 2.5 ounce plugs, maybe even lighter than that, it's just a rocket, man. Great rod. I just did a water temp check for my TikTok. 60.6, I think it was. I had a banger video on TikTok, which I put on shorts here, of me just grabbing a beer out of my cooler, and the fish handed it to me. Cinematic gold, and they took it down for animal abuse. I'm like, whew, man, we are soft, aren't we? So, forget about it. Back to fishing. Name of the game is cover ground, man. Send it out. Just keep covering water. I feel like the hydro minnow is a good plug for right now, so I'm not too concerned with changing it yet. So I'm gonna keep throwing this until I don't know, until I get a feeling. So when I throw a hydro minnow, it's just basically very similar to a Daiwa SP. This is just made by Yozuri. If you look, the SP typically dives 1 to 3 feet, and the hydro minnow does 1 to 2 feet. So I really like the hydro because I like it to stay up that extra foot, and especially in the spring when I'm fishing the skinny waters, the sod banks, you know, that extra foot could keep it off the bottom, you know, and I like that. So I've become real used to fishing them, and I basically just do a simple retrieve like this, and I'm not lifting the pole up, I'm dropping it down. I don't know if there's a difference, but that's the way I fish. I just drop, 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 and this is basically my retrieve. If you're reeling it in against the current, I'll go much slower, you know, to simulate a fish swimming upstream. And if you're coming down current, you speed it up a little bit, because obviously a fish would be a little quicker with the current behind it. So that's really all I do when it comes to these. I mean, it's not like the sinking plugs where you're really controlling the water column. I mean, a slower retrieve should let it sit up a little higher. You know, if you don't have any other factors like current, and a faster retrieve should dig it in a little deeper. It looks like every once in a while I feel like I see some bunker splashing out there. Very difficult to see with this dusk. can't really tell for sure, but later I might throw a shad because of that. You know, if there is peanuts around, once the sun goes down, you're not going to see anything. So I'm going to take that clue and put it in my back pocket, and maybe instead of throwing a needlefish, I'll go to a shad. Trying to get over here. There's a little notch. It's going to come up the coast, and then there's like a peninsula that heads out. So that's just structure. So there's a chance like you might have a little deep water right here. So I'm not saying whether or not there's going to be fish here, but you know, I definitely want to hit it. It might corral some bait, which could in turn corral some fish. Probably a home run if I was fluking. I would love this right here. All right, I've tossed this thing for quite a while now. A lot of casts with nothing going on, so I'm gonna go over to soft plastic for a little bit. I'm hesitant to go to the sand eel because I feel like there's so many bunker around. They're probably not on the sand eel, but they've been on sand eel for a while, so it could have ended and they're on bunker now, but you know, they didn't exactly go nuts for my hydro. So let's just slow roll a sand eel for like another 15 minutes, and then maybe I'll switch out to like I don't know, maybe an algags or an NLBN or something. Now I just threw out a weighted needlefish, a Super Strike weighted needle. I think it's 2 3/4 ounce. It's an absolute rocket. So on this retrieve, I'll just do a steady speed like this, and this is not quite like a pencil popper. It's a little more subtle. This is just to give it just a little bit of action as it's coming through the water. And you could throw a needlefish out there and just straight retrieve it. You know, you don't really have to do much with needlefish, but you know, if you do a nice slow retrieve like this, you'll keep it down towards the bottom, especially this heavy sinking needlefish like this. But if you want, you could always just speed it up a little bit, and you know, you could bring it up towards the middle of the water column. So with that hydro, I worked the top, and with that needlefish, I worked down all the way to the bottom. And you know, I wasn't exactly on the top with the hydro. I could still do like floating, like a popper or a metal lip. But with the needlefish, I feel like I can cover a pretty good difference in the water column, that right close to the bottom and then that middle water column. So I'll try that out, try to cover all of it. All right, I'm throwing a S&S 2.5 ounce and a half. I think it's an 1.5 ounce bucktail smiling bill with a jig strip, split tail jig strip, white. Yeah, still nothing. Come on, man. Little fluke got me. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't get skunked. That's a pretty lame way of not getting skunked, but Well, maybe next year, buddy. I guess this channel is going to have to be more of a fishing report in the winter rather than check out all the fish I caught during the fluke season, because it's 9:30 at night. I fished from 5:30 to 9:30. I covered well over a mile of beach in 2 different towns. I went north, I came south. I fished a lot. Hard structure, soft structure. Not too much hard, because every time we get a little bit of hard structure, the Army Corps of Engineers comes and just covers it up with a bunch of sand. So I fished what little bit we did have. Man, I didn't get a bump. Soft plastics, hard plastics, needlefish, gliders, shads, sand eel imitations. I threw everything, man. Bucktails, I don't know if I said that. I threw it all. I didn't get a bump. Actually, I caught a fluke. Yeah, a fluke. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm trying. The water temperature is 60.6, I think I said it was. It's a grind right now. It's all right. But, you know, you got to put your time in, and that's certainly what we did. We got like 12,000 steps from doing this. So, what are you going to do, right? Just keep grinding. Thanks for watching. And, you know, hopefully there's some goddamn fish around soon.